I was going to take today off, but nah, it's just too great. All right, we'll be right back with this episode of John Crump News, only on the Black Swan Media Network. Welcome back to the channel, Wolverines. If you are new here, welcome to the channel. My name is John Crump. I am a gun rights activist and investigative journalist. And today is a great day for me. I'm wearing my red because we just turned Virginia red. I can no longer say that I'm behind enemy lines. We have moved the battle forward and we will continue the battle. Today we are brought to you by JFD Supply. JFD Supply makes some of the sickest 80% kits on the planet. Their P320 kit is amazing. I keep on talking about it, and you guys really need to pick one up if you don't have one. Piss off the anti-gunners by buying one. Of course, we are in the battle with that evil guy, the algorithm, and we are winning. We are beating him down like Negan with Lucille here, and we're going to continue to do that. So go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help. Trust me. Also, I love you all, and thank you for what you did in Virginia if you're from Virginia, and thank you for all the interest from around the nation. If you don't know what I'm talking about the sheer shellacking, the Glenn's head to Negan's bat of politics. Yes, McAuliffe and the Democrats thought that they were going to win, and they were going to pass all these new gun laws in Virginia. But not only did we win, we won big. When I say we, I mean all the pro-gunners out there, because we put these people into power. We're going to keep the fire lit under their asses to make sure that they vote for pro-gun bills and no more of this anti-stuff. That anti-stuff is dead. It is over, because not only do we got the governor, the lieutenant governor, the AG, and there's ways that they can kill a bunch of gun laws right there. But I'm not going to tip anybody's hand here. But we also have the House of Delegates. Yes. So it was a clean sweep of everywhere. The anti-gun side got their clocks cleaned. They got the crap kicked out of them. And that is good. Not only in Virginia, but in New Jersey, which hasn't been called yet. The governor's race is very tight, and Phil Murphy was supposed to run away with that, and he didn't. Right now, there is a wave of traditional American values sweeping the country. And no, that's not a dog whistle, because 2/3 of the Virginia high ticket was minorities. So stop pushing that false narrative. But, you know, the antis are going to push the false narrative no matter what. So we are looking forward to starting to push back, getting rid of some of the other stuff, introducing stuff like preemption, which we think we can beat on the court level. Universal background checks, which, again, we can beat on the court level now. Also, we're going to push back against one handgun a month, the gun bans everywhere. And then we're going to start pushing for stuff like constitutional carry. And we're going to start pushing for stuff like the return of preemption and all this other pro-gun bills. Maybe Virginia will become a Second Amendment sanctuary. Who knows? 96% of the state is already Second Amendment sanctuary. So why not the rest, right? All right. So that happened in Virginia last night. I had a live stream with over 1,000 people. That blew my mind. I was like, blown. But before we get into the next story, just remember, McAuliffe was so cowardly that he had to concede. Get this, via email. It sounds like Hillary Clinton when she conceded to Trump. It's kind of funny. You know, Democrats, they don't take losing very well, especially when they can't steal something. I don't know. But yeah, that's a good thing. But let's talk about the Supreme Court now. New York Pistol Rifle Association versus Braun. This is a case challenging New York City's and New York State's concealed carry permit. Back in 1911, something called the Sullivan Act passed in New York, and this is basically New York's May issue system. The law stated that you must demonstrate a special need for self-protection distinguishable from the general community or people engaged in the same profession. So basically, you had to be super in danger of something before you got a concealed carry permit, or you are rich. Well, in New York, it's up to the local law enforcement whether you get a concealed carry permit or not. So people in upstate New York have a much easier time than from someone who lives in Manhattan, for example. The New York Pistol Rifle Association sued over the May issue part because they said that when you look at it, you have to apply strict scrutiny to the law. Basically, it's saying that any inalienable right, you have to apply strict scrutiny. So basically, what that means is if you have a law for some type of outstanding reason, you have to narrowly tailor that law to not infringe on anyone's rights. And the New York Pistol Rifle Association is saying that you damn well are. They appealed to the district court. The district court did not apply strict scrutiny. They applied a loose version of intermediate scrutiny. And so the New York Pistol Rifle Association lost. So the plaintiff filed an appeal to the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. The Second Circuit Court of Appeals affirmed the district court's ruling, which means the plaintiffs filed with the Supreme Court for writ of cert. Basically, what that means is the Supreme Court can hear the case. The Supreme Court accepted the writ or granted the writ. So this is where we are today. Today was the oral arguments. I will tell you right now that New York is hanging their hat on that strict scrutiny never applied to the Second Amendment. New York Pistol Rifle Association is attacking that vigorously, and it was an interesting case. The lawyer for New York seemed kind of flustered a little bit, and she's like 77 years old, so I have no idea why she's even arguing this case. And there were some really, really key things to see there. One thing, the liberal justices started quoting laws from the 1300s in England, which I have no idea because, like Jared said, we shot those people in the face. Jared from Guns and Gadgets had a live stream. It was really interesting. Another thing that the state tried to insinuate is that violence would rise. When they were asked if there's any stats to back that up, they just got really flustered and actually didn't know what to say. They actually were speechless. Like, how dare you ask us for facts? It was very, very interesting. There was one line that I just loved. It was brought up that if concealed carry permits become May issue, the subways will be filled with guns. And Alito basically said the subways are already filled with guns, but they're illegal guns, applying that criminals are the ones that had the guns, which I thought was really, really cool. I talked to Brian Wren. Brian Wren, if you don't know, is from Wren versus DC, which was DC's case. And get this. So when DC filed, they lost in the Circuit Court of the District of Columbia, which is basically like the second, but for DC. And they were so afraid that they were going to lose in the Supreme Court that they did not request a writ. They did not petition for a writ of cert. So why didn't they do that? Because New York and other states begged them not to because they were afraid that they were going to lose. And now here we are. It is not a slam dunk by any means. Like, any of the judges can change their minds, and sometimes that happens. Sometimes you really, really think that it's going to go one way and it goes a totally different way. That's just part of the courts, and it's one of the most frustrating things on reporting on those. And Brian said as much. He basically said he's hopeful, but he's not going to get his hopes up too high because he's seen what happens in courts a lot. One of the interesting things is some of the judges that brought up the English crown from the 1300s brought it up in his case as well, but they weren't Supreme Court justices. They were people on the DC Circuit Court. It's kind of weird that they would, but whatever. And he agrees with me that the judges who we think were going to vote against it are definitely going to vote against it. So we need to have a few judges because there's 3 that's definitely going to vote against it. Roberts, I don't know what the hell he's going to do. I just never know what Roberts going to do. He is a nutball, but who knows? Maybe he'll vote with us. And so we'll see how it goes and see how everything turns out. All right. We should hear a decision back in the spring of 2022. We're done here. I have a Patreon. If you want to help me do what I do here, go to my Patreon, patreon.com/John Crump, and help support the channel. I also have a live channel where I broadcast 4 times a week at 5 p.m. All right. With that said, we are out of here. Stay ever vigilant. Stay ever free. Keeping the fight. I am out. Hold on. Wolverines, motherfucker.